Have you ever noticed how some people leave home and rarely, if ever, call their parents again? From a psychological perspective, that often points to what we call an avoidant attachment style. And people like this, people like us, usually share one defining trait: independence. But it's not the kind of independence that comes from confidence or choice. It's the kind that comes from necessity. We weren't the kids who grew up wrapped in affection or protected by warmth. We were the ones who had to grow up early, the ones who learned to survive on our own like wild grass swaying in the wind. Tough enough to endure, but never really nurtured. Yes, we had parents, but after being disappointed enough times, we stopped expecting care. We became our own parents. We built strength where comfort should have been. To others, we look calm, rational, and composed, like we have it all together. But what people don't see is that this calm often comes from suppression, not peace. And yet, beneath that independence, many of us struggle when it comes to love. In relationships, we find it hard to open up, hard to connect. Why? Because growing up, we were often criticized, dismissed, or ignored. Or needs were treated like inconveniences. So we learned that showing emotion was dangerous. We learned that silence was safer. Psychologists say that a child's sense of safety nourishes their brain, while fear damages it. That's why avoidant children often grow up less emotionally responsive, not because they lack intelligence, but because fear dulled their sensitivity. Some of us can't even sense hunger, warmth, or timing the same way others do. When everyone else is planning their next step in life, we're still figuring out what we even want, if we want anything at all. We rarely take initiative. And because of that, opportunities often slip through our fingers. People who grow up feeling safe can focus, plan, and thrive. But avoidance. We carry a constant undercurrent of anxiety, a quiet fear that keeps us from fully engaging with life. Over time, that fear breeds hesitation. We become overly cautious, afraid of failure, afraid of pain. To others, we might look emotionally stable, even stoic. Unlike anxious types who wear their feelings on their sleeve, we appear unshaken. But deep down, we're emotional time bombs bottling everything up until it explodes. And this is why so many avoidants keep their distance from family. We say we don't want to go home, but really, we just can't face the same cycle of disappointment again. When we cut contact, people call it cold-hearted, but it's not coldness, it's numbness. A protective numbness we've built to survive. It's like a double-edged sword. It shields us from pain, but it also blocks love, connection, and growth. This numbness becomes a wall keeping others out, but also keeping us locked inside. We lose touch with our own feelings, struggle to sense affection, and sometimes can't even recognize when someone truly cares. If you've ever loved someone avoidant, you've probably felt that distance. They don't chase, they don't cling. If you stop reaching out, they might simply disappear. And if you tell them you're unhappy, they'll say, "Everyone needs their own space." Or, "Why should this even matter to you?" That's their defense because deep down, they're terrified of being truly seen. You see, when someone empathizes with us, when they actually understand our pain, it's almost unbearable. It touches a part of us we've buried for years. Because in our families, no one ever held us like that. No one ever cared to ask how we really felt. So when someone finally does, it feels foreign, almost dangerous. That's why the more you try to care for an avoidant person, the more they might pull away. Not because they don't want love, but because love feels unfamiliar, even unsafe. We crave recognition, yet we're not used to receiving it. It's like tasting seafood for the first time. You're so cautious, afraid it might poison you, that you can't even enjoy the flavor. So, if you love someone avoidant, whether they're your partner or your friend, give them time. They're not heartless. They're just lost. Years of emotional distance have made it hard for them to find their way back. But healing is possible. You can rebuild safety from within. You can nurture that inner child who never got the care they deserved. And when you do, you'll no longer just survive like wild grass. You'll finally learn how to bloom.